Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge. I'm Anthony Irwin, joined on this Tuesday afternoon by Harrison Fagan. Harrison is obviously of SB Nation. I'm not going to break
Apparently
any
not
news
that
here.
obvious. I don't know. That was you tripped on that one for a second.
Well, the thing is, nope, not going to say the thing I was going to say because
Appreciate that.
That is not my news to break. But anyway, yeah, we are today. We are going to play a game. Normally, we play in preparation for Media Day. We play a game called Media Day Bingo. Right? It's much like the off-season bingo, and the way that we do that. This time, though, because we are recording after Media Day, we are going to round up our favorite / the funniest quotes that we saw from the various media days yesterday, Monday. And we'll see where that lands us. It gives us an opportunity to riff on a couple things. Both you and I have put together a list of about 7 or 8, or 8 or 9, or whatever it is. So that means we're going to have some outside looking ins, but we're going to rank our top 5 in ascending order. Our top 5 quotes that we saw, whether it's from Lakers Media Day.
You did not tell me this was supposed to be in any sort of order at all. So we're off to a great start.
You have your list in front of you. Like you could figure out on the fly which one's your favorites.
Okay. No, I mean I already know. I already know which one's my top.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So we'll. You know what? I'm going to let you go first then, since you're less organized.
No, I'm ready to cook. So my favorite. There were. Obviously, it's tempting to go Lakers here. That's the one that I covered the most closely. I have some Lakers ones in here. But, if you're asking me to rank which one made me laugh the absolute most yesterday, it has to be from Jared Weiss, NBA, former Celtics blogger, now with The Athletic. It says, Joe Mazzulla has reconfigured his new coaching staff to have a tribal leadership dynamic, with assistants working in groups of 3 to 4 on each side of the ball to establish a more collaborative process. Every single Joe Mazzulla update is absolutely insane, and it is so funny to me. It's like I'll read a piece from our friends over at Celtics blog, about like how the Drew Holiday is this huge upgrade and win, and I'm like, oh man, they're making some good arguments. This is a little scary. And then it's like Joe Mazzulla says that he watched The Town 37 times in preparation for media day. Every single update from this man is the wildest thing you've ever heard a coach say out loud. And I love it. I love that he's not coaching my team that I root for also. But I love it. He just, he will, spoiler alert, he will make one more appearance on this list. And it's just he's just busting out tribal leadership dynamic on his coaching staff in the middle of a media day, probably unprompted. I didn't watch the interview, but I'm choosing to believe that no one asked him about the tribal leadership dynamic with his coaching staff.
I just want to know if there were like follow-ups. Like, are you sure? Like, why?
Yeah.
What?
Do you vote? Does he vote one of them off the island? Is it sort of like last year where throughout the season he just keeps losing assistants because they want to go take other jobs? They're like, why did they put this guy in charge? Someone in the replies to this said, we had a tribal system last year, but one of the tribes was the 4 to 5 coaches who were trying to get to Houston. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to start Celtics, but it's laughing at the Celtics, and I love it so much. It's just, it's insane.
Did you play high school basketball at all? Like, did you play any high school sports?
I play no.
Okay, so
believe it or not, I was not talented enough. I know this is going to shock anyone who's heard any story of my athletics on this show. But I was not good enough at basketball.
Well, but like everybody makes freshman team, right? Unless you go to a super big school.
Yeah, well,
So, all right.
I'm like Michael Jordan. I'm holding it against the coach, but like I don't have the basketball career to back it up. I can't I don't have a Hall of Fame speech. They go, this guy cut me, and that was a terrible decision. It's like, no, I mean, probably a good call on his part. He had, he had a good tribal leadership council informing him, like on his coaching staff.
Yeah. All right. Well, the reason I bring this up is high school sport coach is a different breed of human being. It is just, they are so far out there. And when I was, because I coached high school basketball for a little bit too. And
I was going to say, just like you.
I was getting pulled. I was like, I felt myself getting pulled into that. I remember
you're doing your Tim McGraw Friday Night Lights impression slowly.
Yeah.
You know, you're slowly morphing.
Yeah, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. But no, we were like, when I first coached, I was supposed to coach like the high school like frosh soft because it was my very first coaching gig, and then the head varsity coach liked what I was doing enough that he was like, you know what? Why don't you take the JV team? And I was like, okay, I'll take the JV team. He's like, also, do you mind assisting with varsity? I was like, okay. And that was like the first sign that like this probably isn't the longest career because within a half hour I got a promotion.
This is just like Joe Mazzulla's coaching staff last year,
Yeah.
where they all went from like video scout to like front of bench assistant, you know, because everyone left.
So this guy who no, I can say his name. So Mark Hill was the head coach there at Esperanza at the time. Eventually went on to, like, is a very decorated like basketball coach at Esperanza. But I remember he watched like one of my practices one day, and he was like, you don't yell enough. You have to scream at these kids. Like, you have to, it's the only way that they listen. He's like this older, like, you know, he retired maybe about 7 years or so after this, right? So he was on his way out, and he was certainly an old school kind of guy. And all high school coaches basically pretend that they are like college coaches, and they take these college coach exercises that are like all played up, but they take them very literally. And I remember one time when I was playing, I had the sophomore at my school. There was a freshman team, there was a sophomore at JV varsity, and the sophomore team's head coach one day for conditioning was blaring like tribal music while we were running. And I just thought it was like the weirdest thing. He was like, it teaches togetherness. And I'm like,
was this a young Joe Mazzulla? Like,
it might be. But I just like, when I heard Joe Mazzulla talk about like tribal leadership and stuff, all I could think about was this crazy ass sophomore coach who was like probably a used car salesman on the side or like for his main job, and then screamed at kids for an hour every day as a side gig. Like, everything Joe Mazzulla does just exudes such high school basketball coach energy.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's a great comp. I mean, this man, again, this is a man who they found his Quizlet account that he used to keep notes. He didn't have it private. You know, have you ever used Quizlet when you were in college and you were maybe not looking up the answers to online tests? I don't know. You can't prove that I did that.
No.
You know, but yeah, so it's like online flashcards. And he had all of these public for anyone to see. And so once he got promoted to head coach, people started finding them, and he had notes. It's like Kuz, absolutely not going to pass, force him left, like he will shoot, stuff like that. And he eventually just had to delete the Quizlet account, and then the Celtics went on a giant losing streak, and it's like, oh my god, he lost all of his notes.
He forgot him.
He didn't back it all up.
Do you picture him like going against Kuz the next night? He's like, play him to pass.
It's like, what did I write? Oh no.
He's a facilitator. No.
The town didn't prepare me for this. Thought he was going to sacrifice himself like Jeremy Renner. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go with my first one here. Jamal Murray thinks all-star appearances and championships are mutually exclusive.
I mean, look at his NBA experience. He has reason to believe that is true. You know, as long as he forgets about Nikola Jokic, you know, like, and he's like, oh yeah, he didn't make the All-Star. He didn't watch the All-Star game last year. 100% confirmed. He didn't know that Jokic was in it.
Yeah. This is from Harrison Wind of DNVR. Jamal Murray on potentially becoming an All-Star this season. I'd rather be a champion. A lot of guys are All-Stars and not champions. And I was like, I want to know, like, do you know of like champions who are not All-Stars? Like, do you know that's a thing? And then, like, did you know that? Well, do you know of like players who have done both and all of this stuff? And it's just my favorite thing for Media Day is guys saying things that they think are bars, but are absolutely not bars. Because he
100% thought that was going to be clipped, like one of these like Kobe things, like job's not finished or whatever. Like this was going to become an iconic line. Like I'd rather be a champion, you know. And it's just Like, I get what he's going for. You know, if you had to pick one, I know which one I'd rather pick. All-Star, for sure. I like the attention. But
well, think about
don't have to work the extra 3 months. That's why I didn't make my freshman team. You know, it's this mindset.
You just went full Bynum and shot every time.
Yeah, I was like, hey, look, this is my tryout. Like, I'm getting shots up.
So, I love the idea also of Murray making the All-Star team and then saying, no, no, like, absolutely not. I cannot do this. I'm going to be a champion. And then not becoming a champion.
Yeah, and then Jokic is like, I still have to go to Indiana? I want to go see my horses.
No, it's funnier if Jokic tanks the beginning of the season to not be on the All-Star team, and then he's Murray's replacement after Murray drops out. He's just
it's like, oh no! Oh, I thought I had missed it.
Did you see?
I spent the whole season passing to him and getting him the easiest baskets possible.
Did you see Jokic walk into media day? Like the
I saw someone say this is 100% his least favorite day of the year, and I'm inclined to probably agree.
Do you think he knows that Damian Lillard is on the Bucks?
No chance.
Do you think he gets like debriefed on the offseason? All right, so Bruce Brown is not going to be here today. He isn't in.
He knew about that one because he joked that they shouldn't give him a ring. That almost made my my roundup, but it just missed it.
All right,
I thought that was very funny.
I just picture like Jokic just walking in, you know, or
he meets his new coworkers. He's like, oh, hey, Jamal's back, great.
Dan Devine had a really funny tweet where he was like, you know, found out that Anthony Davis mentioned that he's been hearing all of the talk all offseason about the Lakers, right? And Dan Devine goes, oh, those are the people in yellow that we played those few times.
Yeah. Yeah, I look for. I mean, look, Jokic never got into a war of words with the Lakers. It was like Bruce Brown and Mike Malone, one of whom isn't there. So I don't. I don't know.
I don't think Jokic is capable of a war of worlds.
I don't think he's interested in it. Yeah,
right. No, I'm saying like I just think like somebody could talk shit to him, and like Dwight Howard famously, right, did the whole like Batman's
coming for you, the Joker.
Yeah, and Jokic probably just like.
Dan Devine getting that quote, or Dan
Wojcicki.
Yeah, Dan Wojcicki getting that quote. I'm coming for you, the Joker. Was worth the LA Times sending him to the bubble, like just for that. All right, so number 2 for me, we got to go Lakers. This is a Lakers show. You know, it's time to get some Lakers in here, and you know. I think you could probably guess which one I'm going to pick if you've seen what I've been blogging about. But the answer is it was from Dave McMenamin, who was there for, you know, LeBron on Rui. We worked out together pretty much all summer. I see a lot in him. I call him my Daniel son, and I'm Mr. Miyagi.
So I like.
Is LeBron going to have to take a sensitivity training? I don't know. Like it's, you know,
that's what I was going to say. Is like
it's not for me to say.
LeBron is now because he's 39 years old. He's about to turn 39 years old. He's just like that uncle that like says stuff that, that's just Uncle Bron. Like, it's just, you know, because like the Taco Tuesday thing is like vaguely racist, and then like the this is now like a little less than vaguely racist.
The thing is, I think Rui clearly has no problem. You know, it's not for me to say whether or not it's offensive or whatever, but the thing that I wanted to get out of the way is I just really do hope that this does not mean that LeBron just had Rui doing house chores all summer, and that's what they mean by he was shadowing him. Like LeBron was like, you know, can't drive to the basket unless if you can't drive my kids to school, you can't drive to the basket, you know? Right, you got to mow my lawn faster. It's for transition defense.
He has him literally waxing the boards. Like Rui is up there just like with a rag, or just has to jump up all the time to actually like wash the boards. Yeah, I just love that. Yeah, like look, Rui hilariously was like, I swear I haven't lost weight. I was just standing next to LeBron and I look skinnier. Like they're like buddy cop thing. It's like Rush Hour. Like I want this year for Halloween, because the Lakers always do like funny Halloween costumes and stuff.
Yeah, LeBron, big Halloween guy.
Yeah, I hope LeBron is Chris Tucker, and I hope that Rui is Jackie Chan. Like I want that kind of stuff. I want that in my life. I want that to be like a season long skit that the two of them do together. Ain't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Like I need all of that in my life. I need all of it, even though a little problematic.
Yeah, I don't know if you just went further than LeBron did.
I probably did.
But it did also remind me while I was looking this up to write about it that LeBron, I forgot, just to give Lakers fans, just to transport you back in time to around this time last year, if a few months later, at one point last year, LeBron's response to the Rui edition was feels good to have another 6'8" wing. So.
That's say he scouted him from Gonzaga. Like I've been watching this kid from Gonzaga.
He's waiting for Rui to keep the playoff thing going this year, and then he'll probably do that. I think probably like November. Yeah.
Yeah. He
got burned by the THT thing. He's going to be a little more careful. He's like, I gotta see a larger sample size.
All right. That was also on my list, so I will cross that one out. I'm gonna move away from the Lakers, and I'll come back a little later. Jimmy Eats World.
This had to be on the list, so I'm right there with you.
Everything about it was hilarious, and the Heat, as an organization, trying to play off of it and pretend that they aren't all collectively devastated by what went on. There's a report out now that apparently 98% of the organization had didn't know what the hell was going on, and the funniest thing about all of this is last year Jimmy Butler did that with the dreads and did so that his pictures all year would be off and he would be pictured in dreads all season.
It's a great prank, admittedly. It's very funny that on the broadcast all season it was Jimmy with dreads and he just nowhere.
And then eventually they just just stopped putting him on those graphics or started using an older picture.
They used the picture from the year before.
But this is gonna. I really hope, if anybody in the NBA has any sense of humor whatsoever, that the picture that we see of Jimmy Butler in all of those graphics all season long is Emo Jimmy, is Jimmy Eat World. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
Yeah, I just loved that the Tim Reynolds tweet was it was just a quote. It was just, I'm Emo Jimmy. That was the first we got introduced. I was like, is this fake? This cannot be real. This looks like a bad, one of those AI deep fakes or whatever of it's like, give me Jimmy Butler with goth hair. And it's like, nope,
one of the most annoying things of my childhood was my initials are AFI, right? Anthony Frederick Irwin. And all throughout high school, anytime somebody pieced together that would always ask, oh, so you must really like AFI the band. And I'm like, why? What's the connection there? Because I saw, I think it was Trey Kirby said that Jimmy's going to play this year with a fire inside. And it was just like, it brought back all those memories of I hate that music. That is not my kind of music.
This really was made for the nearly 40-year-old blogger set,
Mm-hmm.
This moment, this was their moment to be able to write headline. I didn't understand half the references yesterday, but, I'm glad everyone was having fun. And photoshopping the Jimmy hair onto different people was one of my favorite things that I did yesterday.
Can I actually go with a 2A here since you said that everybody is having fun?
Yeah.
Can I go twice in a row? You know who wasn't having fun yesterday?
Who?
In that same exact room and in all of that setting? Kyle Lowry.
Oh, no. I didn't even see this.
Kyle Lowry showed up to Media Day to take all the pictures, but refused to talk to the media.
Oh, he's doing the half holdout. I mean, honestly, if I was him, I kind of get it. It's like all they're going to ask you about is hey, does it kind of suck that you were in trade rumors all summer,
Yeah. Hi, not Damian Lillard. How are you doing today?
Everyone was like, yeah, they can use the Kyle Lowry expiring salary. Not even talking about you like you're an actual basketball player, probably Hall of Famer at some point. Yeah.
I was talking about him being on the buyout market.
Yeah,
because like he was going to get traded and eventually bought out.
he'd be a great buyout player. He's
I had
less
it on
great
my
at the salary he's at
bingo
now
for the Lakers. Like I had it. It was one of my things. It was one of my squares. But yeah, like he was not talking to anybody, and it again like really kind of it was the Jimmy Butler like pretending to laugh at the situation, and Kyle Lowry just refusing to pretend to laugh at the situation is such a perfect encapsulation of where the Miami Heat organization
I also
is right
just
now.
love that like Tyler Hero has been like leaning in on this, and he's like getting mad about the Bucks tampering with Dame. You know, you know, he's back in the group chat. He's like, yeah, guys, this sucks that we all of us do not get to play with Dame. It's like the does he know meme, you know?
Right. Well, it was like OG Anunoby apparently like texted Dame before he went to Milwaukee and was like, "Welcome to Toronto," and that was a prank. And
Yeah.
it's like, OG, you were not going to be welcoming him.
Yeah, nope, that's not a believable prank.
You were going to wave him on the flights. Like,
Yeah.
wave to him on the flight. Kyle Lowry not talking.
Wave
to,
as you
to
passed
media.
in the airport on your connecting flights. You know, it's
They like dap up, and he's like, "Wait, why are you walking that way? Why am I walking? We aren't at the same gate."
yeah.
All right, what's your next one?
Okay, so I'm going to stay in Los Angeles, or I'm going to return us to Los Angeles, but not for the Lakers, because I saw a quote that, again, you know, it's just like bringing us back to how great the vibes are with the Lakers this year. There's no complaints, like everyone's good, you know, all that, and like there really just does seem to be like a brotherhood established and a lot of guys learning a lot about people. And, you know, I think that we're seeing the Russell Westbrook influence still, you know, of the culture that he built while in Los Angeles, because he was asked at Clippers Media Day, Russell Westbrook on a champion. This is from our friend Justin Russo, Fly By Night. Russell Westbrook on a championship or bust mentality. Quote, "The championship or bust, to me, that's not a real thing. That's a thing people make up. You could accomplish a lot more. You could create brotherhood. You could learn a lot more about people." And Anthony, I'm just here to remind you, isn't the real championship the friends we make along the way to not winning a championship? You know, it's just...
It's like a real life, like it's that clip where LeBron's like, "Get greedy, everybody." Get greedy. It's like, but
Everybody have fun. LeBron gives him the death stare, and it's still in the official Lakers video. Incredible. So yeah, I'll just say, you know, glad that is not like sort of the mindset coming out of the team that I root for.
Well, to build off of that,
I mean, obviously
Anthony
friendships
Davis,
are great. I'm not arguing against friendships. I've made many work friendships in my life, but I would say as a professional basketball player, maybe, you know, so we were joking in me and JP Acosta yesterday in the SB Nation Slack about, you know, is Kawhi missing games because of injuries, or are they just doing like team bonding activities? It's like Kawhi Leonard like organized a paintball trip, is going to be out tonight. You know, he's busy sort of working on the trust fall exercise for tomorrow, you know?
Well, like, you know, look, we cover the Lakers. We can't necessarily hold it against teams for multitasking, seeing as Gary Vita was part-time physical therapist and part-time air traffic controller. But
hey, now that was normal during the era he came up in, and he just didn't want to relinquish, you know, the responsibility. I respect Gary Vita's work ethic.
But I did like Anthony Davis yesterday. This isn't one of my quotes, but because you're talking about like a juxtaposition of the two situations, AD yesterday, and it's so thoroughly AD because he wouldn't piece together like the difference, the reason for the difference. But he was like, yeah. This year people are like going to dinners with each other. We're a lot closer as a group. Like it's just. It's like, why do you think that is, Anthony?
And I do just like I gotta say, I'm not here like, hey, like let's crap on Russ, whatever. Like, I'm glad that the Lakers didn't just like spend their whole media day doing that publicly, whatever. But if you read between the lines, oh boy, is it there. Like Darvin Ham, like half of his quotes sound like a man who has been through a war. He's just like, seen everything as a head coach. He said yesterday at one point that this year's media day.
Aren't you a second-year head coach? He's like, I have seen everything.
And in fairness, he has seen everything. He's seen the whole scale, basically, of what a coach can be dealing with over the course of 1 year. And he was talking yesterday about, again, this didn't make my quotes, but our Jacob Root at SSR tweeted it out, and Darvin was talking about how this year is totally different because there's so much less heavy lifting behind the scenes, and I'm just glad that era's over, I will say. And that this quote reminded me why, because he would have said something like that at Lakers Media Day, and it would have been a whole storyline for like 3 days. Like LeBron would have been asked about if friendships are more important than championships, and we would have had people tweeting out the Kobe quote of like banners hang forever and friendships are temporary and get this guy off my team and da da da. I'm glad that's all over with. And
do you think somebody should ask Russ, like, all right, Russ, what are your favorite ships? He's like, favorite ships? Okay, so Cruise. I like Cruise. I like I like
Friends.
Friend.
Friendships.
I like friendships. Yeah. I can't think of any other kind. I can't. Russ, championships.
Space
ships,
those
those are okay. Oh yeah. He's just all right. Let's see. You went last, right? Talking about Russ?
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah.
All right, I will go. Markelle Fultz thinks the Orlando Magic can come out of the East. I just saw this right before we started recording, and I added it to my list.
Gotta respect the confidence, I mean, look.
It falls into the category of what I was talking about before, where like athletes think that what they say is always devoid of context and will always go up on posters in like a positive way. And in this case,
he thought that was going to be his version of Steph's, don't worry, Warriors fans, we're going to get this right, in like a year or two.
Like one team in your conference just added Damian Lillard. The other team added Damian Lillard, like the guy that Damian Lillard replaced, who is also quite good in Boston. Yeah. I just loved. Look, Fultz did really help Orlando last year. Like it's been really cool to see his career salvaged in a way that it has and stuff like that. And I think Orlando has a very bright future ahead of them. But future is like years from now. Like
if we're ranking teams that are championship or bust, though,
like months from
championship, if we're ranking teams with championship or bust mentality, though, Magic up here and then Clippers, it's
that's true.
Clippers is all about just like, hey, let's have fun, let's stay healthy, and the Magic are like, we're gonna win the chip this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Fultz has championships ranked above friendships in his favorite ships list.
Kawhi Leonard's like, how dare the NBA try and make me play basketball? And
I did like Kawhi saying that he wanted to play on this year's Team USA, but had a prior commitment.
And he would have had to leave early. What was the prior commitment? We don't know.
He's like, did you just find out last week that happened?
Yeah.
Like, did you just
I had a vacation that month, the next month planned. I was gonna have to leave early. It would have been a whole thing.
Summer. Oh shit! Sorry. Whoops. Yeah. All right. What's your next one?
Okay, so I'm at number 5, right? I think because
so, yeah.
I have
We have some outside looking ins as well, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I still have a few that I enjoyed, but I got to take it back to the Lakers. This is a Lakers show. This one is the one that all of you sickos listening to this were all bookmarking yesterday, because someone on the Spectrum panel asked Torian Prince about a quote he gave where he was like 100% certain that he was going to shoot 40% this year, and asked about his confidence in that. And he said that he will 100% shoot 40% from 3 this year. And
100% of the time, it works every time.
100% of the time, it works 40% of the time. That's Torian Prince's jumper. It's like it's the Sex Panther cologne of jump shots,
So this is why
40% of the time, it works every time.
This is why I can't work for Spectrum, because I would immediately say to him, have you seen what happens to every other player's shot when they get here? Like, do you know what happens?
I think you could do that. You just have to be like, hey, man, like, can you please, like, have you seen what we have gone through the last couple of years? As long as you don't name players specifically as a broadcast partner, I think that's fine. You're not slandering anyone. You're just acknowledging a very real phenomenon that we dug into a couple years ago that has continued of shooters just falling off a cliff in that Staples Center lighting. Moneylaundering.com lighting.
I picture like Geeter with a big ass glass of scotch next to him, like in semi-pro, right? He's like, dude, are you sure you want to make that promise? Are you? Because I'm telling you, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot half of that.
Anthony, 122 people bookmarked my tweet on that. Torian Prince, I am here to tell you, it's time to log off, buddy. You got to log off. Like if you start to trend towards 32, 35-ish, you got to just delete Twitter off your phone for a couple months. I'm just warning you ahead of time. Yeah. You know.
Yeah,
but like Torian Prince, I know you're a longtime listener of the show. This is my plea to you, is that if that jump shot starts trending downwards, just don't check the mentions, buddy. This is not Minnesota anymore. It's not going to be a good situation for you. People are going to, I personally am sorry for tweeting out that you said this, in retrospect, realizing now what is going to happen. But just the phrasing of it.
Reggie Bullock has made a 3 for the Lakers.
Yeah, the Anchorman-esque, phrasing of it was very funny to me. And
yeah, I love Prince's confidence, and I love the addition and stuff. But
he does seem genuinely rock solid confidence, in terms of just vibes and the whole thing. Like one of the most, I think, serious media interviews I've ever seen. Like, he was not here to mess around. He was completely deadpan when he said that. When he said everything else, that man is locked in.
So, speaking of completely serious, interviews, on that very panel, it was very clear to me that James Worthy and the crew ran out of questions, one question too early. And because James Worthy went to Rui Hachimura and asked him, hey, so what's your favorite non-Japanese food? And it was just like, what? Even Rui was like, I don't know.
I did not hear this.
Yeah, he was like, it was at the very, the tail end of his interview, and you could almost hear the producers in the background going like, yep, that was one question too many. That we could have gone to commercial 2 minutes earlier.
Okay. See, I was wondering why he was talking about lasagna, but I was only half listening because I was live tweeting at that point. And okay,
so they went through the questions.
I was like, oh man, maybe he just hates Mondays. He's just like, I need.
James was on
Rui,
one, right?
New nickname for Rui. LeBron, try this one out. Garfield. Okay, no one's gonna get offended by that one. I'm just.
It was just,
he loves lasagna and he hates Mondays. That's Rui.
I think James Worthy found out that Media Day was Monday and not Tuesday, and enjoyed his vacation a day too long. He's he cramped, I gotta say, at one point, and
yeah, that was brutal. He started I felt that. I've had leg cramps at unfortunate times. Thankfully, never on live broadcast or whatever. Yeah. But he went straight through.
Yeah,
he broke up his question for a second. He's like, as I get a leg cramp, D'Lo, what are your That man's a pro. That's why James Worthy is an Emmy winner. That's why the whole Spectrum Sportsnet crew are Emmy winners. That's why that whole, group is amazing and great. Especially my wife who works for them.
I really enjoyed their Media Day coverage, and I think they've really grown into themselves as a show. Where last year James was really willing to go there with criticism, right? And it became a real deal. And but in this case, the looks on the faces of Ali and Geeter when James just goes so when it comes to food, what's your favorite non-Japanese? When he's like, I guess Italian and Japanese share a lot in common. I don't know.
Oh man, I did not catch that context while I was listening.
It was phenomenal. All right, do you have any OLIs? I have one. I have one last one.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
That wasn't your last one?
No, it should have been.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna make it somewhat serious here because we've been laughing for a half hour. Not that I have a problem with it, but some listeners appear to sometimes have a problem with that.
Anthony, I promise you that those listeners that have a problem with that tuned out.
They were gone.
Been going, what, 35 minutes? They tuned out. They tuned out 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, Anthony Davis yesterday, and this quote is doing numbers now, and everybody's pointing out, all of that stuff. But AD said that he heard all of the talk that the Nuggets had.
You could tell he was going to say Lakers daddy. The Viklam, Nuggets fans, I am aware that no Nuggets said this. The Nuggets appeared to really enjoy it, though, when he did call Mike Malone the Lakers daddy, which is what I think the Lakers took exception to.
Yeah. I really, really like that the Lakers, A, took note of this, which we all knew that they were going to, and B, just admitted, of course we heard that. Of course, it was a month long. It was a month-long stretch of just nonstop shit. While all these people are accomplishing their dreams, they're looking back at the big bad Lakers and the press that they sometimes get. And I like that the Lakers and Nuggets are kind of leading into this rivalry that they've kind of had over the last 5 years or so. Remember, the Lakers beat the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals in the bubble en route to their championship. And the Nuggets obviously swept the Lakers last year. So these, especially the cores, hate each other. They can't like each other very much.
Probably not, no.
And the fact that AD this year is confident enough to say, yep, yeah, we heard that. After he was the guy who, frankly, Jokic kind of dragged through that series, right? Thoroughly outplayed. And the fact that AD
100%.
I want to be MVP in that MVP conversation this year. I want to play all 82 games. I did hear all that shit that the Nuggets, by the way, were right to talk. They won their championship. They get to talk the mess, but it is on us to respond to the mess. I like all of this, and it's so weird to me that people are, we're living rent free. It's the point is to live in people's heads rent free. We want NBA players to care about this stuff, and they finally do. And you're oh, he cares. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Enjoy it. This is great.
I mean, I will point out that if the situations were reversed, I think you would be mocking the Nuggets for bringing this stuff up, probably.
No, I don't think I would.
You would. You'd be oh, you want to, how about you guard him in the playoff series instead of getting swept?
Well, no,
that would have been your take if the situation was reversed,
No, because I really think I'm pretty consistent on wanting NBA players to care about this stuff. Right?
Okay. I mean, that's fair. It was Bruce Brown and Mike Malone. So I mean, one of those guys is gone. But I'm looking forward to the rivalry between. I'm looking forward to the rivalry between AD and Mike Malone. I think that this is.
AD's gonna put him on the block.
I can't wait for this ESPN graphic. They're coming up next. It's AD, and then it's Mike Malone are the two headshots, and then Emo Jimmy Butler in the background somewhere. It's
he's the second game. So
Emo Jimmy Butler is above them in the early game. It's Emo Jimmy Butler and Joe Mazzulla in Survivor garb. Versus
Mazzulla's wearing all khaki the Croc Hunter.
He's voted various assistant coaches off the island. It's
Do you think Mazzulla thinks that he has to survive the season and he just votes? By the end of the season, he's the only coach on the bench, and that's how this is going to play out?
I think, again, this is a man who talks about aspiring to a bank robbery movie as the highest form of cinema. Are we sure this is not just his long plan? He's not robbing Fenway, he's robbing TD Garden or whatever, Or
he's robbing the Celtics with the lack of coaching that he does in the playoffs, right?
Well, that's what I mean, He's in the safe,
Goal step 1 accomplished.
He's activated Ben Affleck mode. He's gonna get away.
He's coaching in a nun costume. He's doing. Do you have any OLIs? Any outside looking ins?
Yeah, so I mean, a couple honorable mentions since we just brought up my guy Joe Maz. Another one from him. Again. This is clearly, red ass high school coach energy from a guy who's younger than us. I think he's 30. He's 31.
Oh God, now
is he younger than us? He's younger than you for sure. I don't know. He might be the same age as me. You look up his age, but this is from by Jay King. Jay King of The Athletic.
Well, he's 35, so he is younger than me.
Okay, younger than you, older than me, but talking like a 55-year-old, 30-year veteran of the high school coaching ranks. Joe Mazzulla said that he didn't necessarily emphasize defense enough because the need to guard was always so obvious to him. Said he learned last year that he needs to stress even the things that are obvious to him because they might not be obvious to everyone. Joe Mazzulla's like, I just didn't realize all my players didn't have that dog in them. It's, hey, this is obvious to me. I'm going to go out and guard.
Man, that is, I guess.
This is the guy who coached with a black eye that he got from a pickup game that he was playing with his assistant coaches last year. That's how much he guards.
It's like, what's your coaching strategy? What's your MO to coaching, Joe Mazzulla? You reach, I teach, bitches.
He's going to be on a broadcast replacing Mark Jackson in 10 years, and that's going to be his hand down, man down. And they're like, no, Joe, you can't say the B word on air. This is an ABC broadcast. Yeah. Not again.
He's like fighting with the Celtics for not putting the B word on their program, to highlight the season. Let's see. I Dominating was another good one.
Dominating was good. My name's Dominating.
Who just supremely doesn't get it. Again, I compared him to Eric Dampier the other day with Aaron, and Dominating is the exact kind of thing that Eric Dampier would have said. That's he would have come up with that. Yeah.
I also, speaking of big men that you hate, I got this from Harrison Wind. DeAndre Jordan quote, "It's kind of hard to want to go somewhere else when you win a title with a group like this."
He had so many options, of course.
Yeah, no, DeAndre Jordan, he's like, when you're contributing to winning like this, as the chief vibesman.
He did play in a finals game.
Yeah.
In the upset of the century. Harrison, what odds would I have had to place on that for DeAndre Jordan is going to play in a finals game this year?
In non-blowout minutes, too. Non-blowout minutes, it's like, okay, maybe he's on the end of someone's bench or whatever. Right. He played real minutes of the finals. And, didn't totally embarrass himself.
Yeah, he was fine.
He was okay,
Yeah, he's better
he had his
than
Tristan
I thought
Thompson
he would have
moment,
Oh, did you see Anthony Davis kind of sort of shit on Christian Wood?
Yes, that was in my my Muscle Watch takeaways from yesterday. Of Max Christie's I put on 12 to 15 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, but you can't really see it. I'm just lean. So he looks down at his arms and he's like, okay, I know it's not obvious, but I did.
I swear it's there.
And then you had Anthony Davis just in the middle of one of his answers about his offensive versatility. It's like a guy like Seawood, you bring him in the post, and I'm like, oh man, that mini camp did not make a strong argument for Christian Wood's defense, did it? I don't. Christian Wood's got to get in the weight room with Max Christie. It's.
I think the only explanation for that is that Christian Wood was walking by the set.
Yeah, 100%. That has to be it. Because AD is very funny, and so he was probably trying to mess with him as he walked by behind the cameras or something. Or
because I'd have to watch it again, but AD did kind of look off to the side, and I really think that he saw Christian walking by.
But none of us know this, and so to all of us watching at home, he just slandered his new teammate for absolutely no reason.
He just completely sideswipes him.
Lakers fans, anyone wondering if Christian Wood, if any of you are left that are still listening to the show and you're like, hey, I wonder if Christian Wood can be the answer against Jokic, I'm going to say on defense, probably not, according to AD.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just so funny, the dichotomy of the two media days, right? Because last year, a quote like that, right, where you just oh man, I've been torching DeAndre Jordan all camp, and last year I've been like, son of a bitch, this,
yeah,
But this year, because I just feel so much more confident in this team, and because this team just feels more competent and thus confident. like you could see a quote like that and you just kind of laugh it off, because it does
and
make
it's like,
sense.
oh, it's
like
just
Christian
it's
Wood
just,
can't guard AD.
just guys roasting dudes. They're roasting each other. That's what teammates do.
Right, but like last year, like I compared it. I did a lowdown late last night, that ran early this morning, and I said like last year's media day felt like walking into a dark room as a child, where like in the back of your mind, or maybe in the front of your mind, like I'm actually safe here. There's no boogeyman in here. There's no big monster who's going to jump out of this corner or whatever. But every single like crack or creak that you're going to hear from that room is going to terrify you because you're in your own head. And last year's media day was just like every single quote that came out was just like, God, this is going to be a disaster. They can't actually do this. They're marching 73 different 6'3" people. Like it was just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to make an analogy for last year's media day. It felt like walking into like I don't know your parents' relationship. But like I'm sure you walked into the house at certain points during your childhood, and it's like, oh, mom and dad just fought. I can like feel it.
Okay, I was like, where are you going with this with my parents, Harrison? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm making the analogy to you. Yeah. Anyone listening to this, your parents, you probably had this moment as a child. I know that my parents have a great loving relationship, but there were moments where they disagreed, and you just walk into the house and it's like, oh no, they just fought. I can just sense it, and that was sort of last year's media day vibe to me.
Man, mom is really chopping those carrots. Like she's really she's.
It's like, oh, the TV is really loud right now. Okay.
Yeah, it was just it was nice to see yesterday's media day. The Lakers had a nice quiet one, and it was not like the one that was going on in Philly where James Harden was not there, and clearly
James Harden, fat suit fitting, is not available to talk to the media today.
My favorite part of all of that was that he sent out a group text to all of Woj and Shams and to Haynes. Hey guys, I'm not going to this one. Just heads up, I'm not going to be there. And they all sent out their tweets all at the same time. Where like 5 minutes later, we were all going to find out from the people who were actually there. Yeah, James isn't here.
I almost wish that he hadn't leaked that, because it would have been very funny to be like if the Sixers progressively like tried down. They're like, no, he's coming. He's running a little late. I don't. It's in traffic. Sorry, guy. I know you can't see him back behind us in the gym or whatever. He's here. He's in the back. He's sick. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only super awkward moment we got from the Lakers media day was Cam Reddish's interview with Bresnahan. That was it. Like where he was kind of asked, like, why did you pick the Lakers? And he was like,
Yeah, he clearly was told, like, hey, don't slander, like, your old teams or something like that, because he's like, there's a lot of things I could say.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I took it more as like, yeah, my agency told me to come here. Like, that's how I took it. But
I took that as like, I gotta prove all these haters wrong. Idiots. The Knicks and Blazers are dumb. That's why I'm here.
That is more fun.
Yeah, I have three. Can I run through three others? Yeah. So
I went through all of mine apparently.
Yeah. No, I had a couple backups real quick.
All right.
So we had Kawhi at the podium. Just this quote from the NBA Central: Kawhi Leonard has no idea about the NBA's new participation policy. Quote: What are they? Speaking of, like Jokic, like guys that don't, like don't.
Oh, Paul, you're still here. Nice.
It's like, oh, damn. Okay.
All right.
I was hoping you'd be James Harden by now. I don't.
Wait, I thought Doc Rivers was our coach. Huh. All right.
Yeah. And then we had, this from De'Aaron Fox, quote, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. Right now, in this very moment, I really don't care about what's going on with Team USA, saying that, hey, he's confirming De'Aaron Fox not coming in on that horse to save Team USA next summer. As LeBron puts together L'Avengers, for Paris, De'Aaron Fox, don't call him, okay? He is not coming to save Team USA. It's definitely not that, like, Steph Curry and Dame and, like, all these guys have expressed an interest in playing. De'Aaron Fox, no, Team USA. He's breaking up with you. He's not going, okay?
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox just found out there's a group text that he is not a part of.
Stop ringing De'Aaron Fox's line, the phone off the handle. He's not coming. Grant Hill, leave him alone, okay?
I pictured De'Aaron like with a list.
I bet
of,
that puts
all
a
right,
dent in your point guard depth, doesn't it?
this is how many roster spots, probably like 3 or 4 of them. All right, so Steph is going to take one spot. I guess maybe Dame will take the other.
Captain Brunson, Captain America, Jalen Brunson,
Yeah, right. He's like, man, that's it. I don't want to go.
I don't. No, thank you.
Not interested. Not interested.
That was just very funny out of nowhere. Like, I wonder if he was even. I'm not going to.
Do you think he was asked?
I wonder. I in my head he was not even asked about Team USA.
De'Aaron, how
he just
are you
wanted to
doing
put
today?
that
Like,
out there.
Nice
Yeah.
weather today, huh? Like I don't even like Paris.
My guess is he was probably asked, but I don't know.
Yeah. French
and
food
then
isn't
we
even
had.
good.
You sort of mentioned this, but it did remind me that I wanted to riff on this for a second of like Rui starting a feud with Joey Ramirez was not on my media day bingo card, but him just being like, the Lakers social media people, I don't know why they did this. They put me next to LeBron, in that photo. He's like trying to like, he like thought that, I guess, that people were worried about his weight. He's like trying to calm the media down. He's like, no, I didn't lose that much weight. It's okay. I'm just... Like, it was just next to LeBron. It's like, no, nobody was worried about you. It's okay. But yeah.
I like that. Do you think he like walked by as Max Christie said he put on 15 pounds of muscle and Rui figured out like, oh fuck, that was the assignment?
Yeah. It's like, oh, they like that?
Hold on,
man.
what? Man,
Yeah.
I needed to eat more of James Worthy's lasagna. Like,
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go get some more lasagna. I don't... Man, I hate Mondays. Rui Garfield Hachimura.
All right, well, this has been fun. I love Media Day.
I used to hate it because it was just like so much work, but I've grown to appreciate just the weirdness and just all the photo combinations we get. We didn't even talk about the weird Chris Paul in a Warriors jersey photo.
I thought Dame would look more natural in a Bucks uniform than he did. He didn't look that like.
Our friend Christian Rivas describing the Lakers' new big 3 shot as me playing my player of LeBron, AD, and Austin Reeves in the middle.
You know what we didn't get? And I think because the Jimmy Eats World thing happened too quickly, but nobody asked Austin, like, hey, how do you feel about Jimmy Butler coming after your emo meme look? Like, hey, like, who did it better?
Well, I have that in my back pocket for the Austin's first post game interview this offseason, where he just like for what has made sure that his hair looks as absolutely terrible as possible, despite it being completely incredible the entire game. It just like who did it better, and then it's just Emo Jimmy next to Emo Austin.
I
maybe Photoshop some eyeshadow on him, like
the random like Austin Reeves randomly saying thank you to Travis Kelce for dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's over.
My girlfriend is so much less mad at me now. Thank you.
I liked various reporters telling Austin that he has a significantly bigger wallet, and every time he got more and more red. That was better. That was fun to watch. I love Media Day. I love laughing at all of this stuff.
It's so dumb. It's so fun. It's everyone's undefeated. Even the Orlando Magic are championship or bust. It's just, it really is one of the best days.
Everybody
of the year.
but Russell Westbrook is championship or bust.
Yeah.
Russ is just like, no, man,
he's championship or Russ, it's like,
I mean, that's basically how most organizations.
That's the choice the Lakers made, unfortunately.
On that note, that is going to do it here.
But they fixed it. Rob fixed it. They the GM, they all Kurt Rambis, they all got together. They fixed it. Lakers are a title contender. Vibes are incredible everywhere. I
think this is the most. No, I'm not going to say it because every time I say something positive like that or end the show on a positive note like that, something terrible happens. So I'm just
are you ready? Are you going to call this like the most
fun.
talented Lakers team of your lifetime, the most chemistry laden? You got any superlatives that are going to age terribly? Most interesting.
I think this is the most confident I've been in a team heading into the LeBron, like in the LeBron era. I think this is the most confident I've been heading into.
I was more confident in the 2020 team, but
2020, like after the championship.
No, the 2019 20.
So
I guess
heading into
that
the
was coming
championship
off.
year.
Yeah, I loved the LeBron AD combo so much. I mean, I think still I said that the Clippers should be the favorite, but I liked the Lakers a lot. And then as they played, that only increased.
Yeah, I think. Well, part of this is like, and LeBron and AD mentioned this a ton yesterday. This is the first time they have like real continuity, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that was some real hot dog meme energy, though. Like, to be real, you know,
for sure,
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
LeBron
Why
being
do you
like
think that was?
LeBron complaining that we have not had continuity when it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're the one that gets upset every single time that you have a bad team and like want to make a bunch of changes. You know,
Yeah.
Not that
No.
not that Rob is not prone to that as well. It seems, but you know,
Well, I just think like everybody has, like they've all done this now long enough that they can
Yeah.
like be calmer about shit.
Yeah.
You know, like not fly off the handle with every single tweak that needs to be made. And I think that like experience now collectively is something that I think I am more confident in even than that year heading into the 1920 season. Which, like, to be fair, they did win a championship, so like your confidence was well placed. But like even given that the roster after that was, I think, more talented than this one, I still, like, once I found out that Dennis Schroeder was going to be the starting point guard and not Alex Caruso, I was like, okay.
yeah, we didn't have any. I'm done with the off the bench stuff today from anyone.
Yeah,
you know,
like even like Gabe Vincent, who I think probably was looking forward to competing for a starting spot, and found out heading into this thing that he is going to be coming off of the bench. Like I thought everybody
take it
handled.
well.
Yeah, like everybody, and I think that's a big part of you have the continuity and the selflessness even from the new guys. And I'm like, all right, I think this can really kind of be built on. Now everybody's got to stay healthy and see what this looks like. I really
wrote
enjoyed
this
yesterday.
I wrote this at Silver Screen Roll yesterday. You know, the 2021-22 Lakers had incredible vibes at Media Day 2. Everybody was happy. Everybody was excited about how much talent they had assembled. That the Melo first Russ year, you know, all that. Yeah, they had great vibes. So, you know, great vibes do not necessarily indicate great team, you know. But I will say, saying the right things is a whole lot better than saying the wrong things. You know, it's a better sign that they, you know, it's not doing the right things, but it's closer than saying the wrong things, you know?
Well, but like, all right, so that team had great vibes, but that roster didn't make any sense. They were all old, you know?
No, but
like,
I get the point that I'm making is, you know,
this year
vibes
has
are not
great vibes,
everything,
and
but
it's a
this
good
team
roster.
has a great roster fit on paper.
Yeah.
You know, they should like clearly be in the contender conversation. Everybody seems to be getting along. Everybody seems to be on the same page, and who knows if that continues, but it's a good start. And that's all you can really, I guess, hope for from Media Day. You know?
Yeah. And you know, a big part of this confidence thing, or the amount of confidence I have in this team is, and I think Dylan Hernandez wrote about this for the Times, but like AD just felt different yesterday. You know,
Seemed very secure, confident. He does, you know, we joke about the bingo card of like AD's going to be a more vocal leader this year. And to be honest, it didn't seem LeBron did the whole like he's the face of the Lakers now. So like he's never going to be the face of the Lakers while you're here. But you know, it's they were talking up the leadership, but AD does seem to have legitimately this time raised his voice and been more of a vocal participant.
And like not forced. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's the second oldest guy on the team now, which blew my mind. I didn't like realize that, but it's, you know.
Dude, D'Angelo Russell being in his 9th year broke me.
They
like,
showed
I
that
actually
picture
had to
of
take
him
a
side
second.
by side at the two media days. That was very funny.
Yeah, but I think like, you know, because in years past, LeBron would do the whole it's 80s year, it's 80s year, it's 80s year, and he kind of like it almost felt like he was
been like 4 years running, you know.
Yeah, he's like pushing AD into the limelight, like and AD kind of like you're still pretty good, LeBron, you know.
Yeah.
But this year it felt more kind of and I don't know. Like
there's your headline for this clip. LeBron realizes that AD's better than him now.
Yeah. Well, but like I just think it's really important that AD got his ass kicked in the Western Conference Finals, and him like noting that and noting the shit talking and noting all of that stuff and being willing to say, yeah, I heard that. Of course I heard it.
And learning to box so that he can get his revenge on Mike Malone. You know, it's
I don't know that I was all that confident in his boxing skills. Like stance looked a little vertical and all that stuff. But yeah, I did really appreciate like the quiet kind of confidence that we saw from AD and from the top down. And look, yeah, it was the hot dog meme that LeBron like mentioned the importance of continuity and camaraderie. But like
the man whose teams like blow up their rosters at midseason like 50% of his
every
career.
Year.
Yeah, like
but like him at least mentioning that importance to me is growth and that'll matter. And I think I really liked that we got that from him yesterday. But yeah, I really enjoyed Media Day yesterday from around the league, and I was so happy that it was just a nice, quiet, calm Media Day from the Lakers, something that we haven't had in like it feels like a little while.
All the craziness and tension is elsewhere. It's
it's fantastic.
It's a great sign.
Yeah. All right. That is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lounge. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I don't think I'm going to start doing lowdowns until next week, like, lowdown and conversation stuff. So this will be split up into 2 episodes for you guys to enjoy. And then, game on Saturday.
When are the re-previews coming? Are those on the way?
I'm still working on them. They're still on their way. We have a fun guest for tomorrow's show lined up for tomorrow's show, and then Aaron is going to be here on Thursday, and then should I just like crank out 15 re-previews on Friday?
It would be a funny bit. I'm not sure they would get listenership or really serve anyone. People are like 15 podcasts in my feed. I'm unsubscribing, but it would be very funny. I meant
like one podcast that's like 15 1-minute long previews of all of these players. Maybe that's
I think at this point you have to. I mean, you've promised the people that the re-preview is coming.
I'm sorry, we just do not have time for Matt Damon.
You can only spend a minute on each player. So for some guys that will be hard. For some guys that will be difficult.
I think it'll be hard for every single player. Yeah.
Yeah. Like either it's difficult to stay within or it's difficult to get to the full 1 minute. It's.
So tune in Friday to see if I pulled it off.
All right. Maxwell Lewis. Minute of thoughts. Harrison had a funny TikTok about him.